Good evening and welcome everyone present and watching online. I would like to call the Monday, March 9th, 2026 Planning Commission meeting to order. Please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, I see Ms. Chantel to my right filling in for Tracy. Could I get a roll call for attendance, please?
Commissioner Ingersoll.
Present.
Commissioner Pumphrey.
Present.
Commissioner Stokenberry.
Present.
Commissioner Ritchell.
Present.
Commissioner Sanderson.
Present.
Commissioner Craddoff.
Present.
Commissioner Graham.
Present.
Vice Chairperson Howe.
Here.
And Chairperson Henney.
Present. Thank you very much. At this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda for the February 23rd, 2026 meeting minutes.
Chair so moved. Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Same sign for opposed. All right. I will now open the public hearing for agenda item number 4, UDC text amendment, UDCT 01269774. And I would ask for staff's presentation.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Nick Hutchison. I'm the Interim Director of City Development. Before you tonight is a proposed UDC text amendment related to short-term rentals. The purpose of this amendment is not to prohibit short-term rentals, but to establish a more clear and enforceable standard that addresses life safety, neighborhood compatibility, and tax compliance. This item comes forward in response to City Council's direction and community concerns related to STR operations, particularly around noise, parking, occupancy, and the city's ability to ensure hotel-motel tax compliance. At a high level, this amendment modifies 3 sections of the code. First is Chapter 605, Business Licensing. Second is Chapter 655, Hotel Motels. And third is the UDC. There are key operational standards. For occupancy, 2 persons are allowed per legal bedroom plus 2 additional occupants, a maximum of 10 occupants unless otherwise approved by the fire marshal. Parking, 1 off-street parking space per bedroom, up to 4 spaces. For properties located in downtown, on-street parking within a quarter mile may be used to satisfy this requirement. For noise and events, there are quiet hours of operation from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. and outdoor amplified sound is prohibited during this time, and it does not allow for commercial or ticketed events. Life safety requires smoke detector, carbon monoxide detector, and fire extinguishers as a self-compliant report and a code-compliant egress. For local contact, a responsible agent must be available 24/7 and respond on site within 60 minutes. The Development Advisory Committee has reviewed this item at their January 20th meeting and recommends approval. Based on the analysis provided in the staff report, staff recommends approval of the UDC text amendment for short-term rentals as presented.
Any questions for staff? All right. I'll repeat one of my concerns during the work session about requiring the local host agents to be required to respond on site within 60 minutes. That's still an issue for me, but we were in the, is there anybody in the audience who would like to speak in favor of this project? Anybody in the audience who would like to speak in opposition to this? Your full name, please.
My name is Laura Wade. I realize that the proposal is addressing only short-term rentals. However, I believe that it is very limited for the commission to only look at short-term rentals. It does not address midterm rentals, which is then not looking at the safety of anyone beyond 30 days. If this is proposed to address the needs of the community as well as the needs of the rental individuals, we're not really addressing the needs. We're only looking at those that are renting for 30 days. We're also then we're not looking at a comprehensive plan, because then our community also is not asking the same for landlords. We only ask for them to voluntarily submit their contact information. We're asking for short-term rental landlords, hosts, to be available or have an agent available 24/7, but we're only asking for our landlords in the community to voluntarily give contact information if they were needed to be contacted in case of an emergency. It seems like quite a disparity. It seems to me that it would be a better for our commission to look at a comprehensive plan that would address all of these areas and not just that of short-term rental. And I agree with you, Mr. Henning, that a 24/7, 60-minute prompt response time, I'm sorry, my husband has decided that we should take this venture, but there are times when I can't be available within 60 minutes. And he is working, and I know that he can't. It's just not realistic. I want to comply, and I will agree that if the proposal is the same as it was last month, it also does not address how we're going to fulfill the safety requirements, who's going to meet those, who's going to police, excuse me, that's not really the best term, but who's going to police that the properties are meeting the safety requirements. It's purely voluntary if we are not implementing something that requires, and that would have to be funded, but for the fire department to come out and to inspect each property. I just think it needs to be more complete. I want our guests in our community to be safe, but I just think it needs to be thought out better.
Thank you for your comments. You've been heard, and also, as you know, feel free to come back in 2 weeks and share your thoughts with the City Council.
Thank you.
This is, our body recommends what they do, and it'll be their final decision. Anybody here that would like to speak in opposition to this? Seeing none and hearing none, I will close the public comment section of this hearing. I will reiterate my concerns about the requirement of the local responsible agent to be available 24 hours a day and respond on site within 60 minutes. When we get to a motion, I would encourage an amended motion to just eliminate on site, and that the local host shall respond within 60 minutes to complaints or emergencies. Any comments on that or anything else for staff before we get to it? Yes, Mr. Crowell.
I'd like to say a couple of things. Thank you for allowing us to come back to this from our last meeting and get a chance to research and study it. Thank the audience, the citizens who came in here today to express themselves about what they're concerned about. Makes sense about discussing what the comprehensive plan, talking about short-term, mid-term, and what she suggested, and having a plan in place for everybody. You know, we want to make sure that we're taking care of all of our residents and our neighborhoods are safe, of course. That's the main objective. I would support responsible short-term rentals with clear enforceable standards that protect neighborhood integrity and property values. Rather than overly restrictive owner and occupancy mandates, I believe requiring a local point of contact, somebody who can respond within 24 hours and have somebody designated is maybe a practical way to ensure accountability. Enforcement should be complaint-driven and focused on repeat, verified violations with registration as escalating penalties and potential permit suspension for chronic offenders. Responsible property owners shouldn't be overburdened, but persistent problems should have real consequences. And we talked about some enforcement mechanisms, and I had a chance to look at some. I'm sure the rest of you probably glanced at something. I saw something where it mentioned something about registration and permit requirement, doing that annually, doing an annual registration with the city, having a 24-hour contact requirement. They must respond within a set time frame, and maybe a 3-strike rule, repeated verified violations for such things as noise, nuisance, and safety would result in fines and possible permit suspension. And also permit revocation for chronic violations, but only after due process. And of course, complaint-based enforcement. Enforcement should be triggered by documented complaints, but with no random inspections. And beginning to the point where the group they came in there talking about the child care centers. I think that's very important. That's something that should be addressed. We should probably have some kind of stipulation to protect the children and in those type of areas for whatever our zoning requirements are. And again, to address the lady who came in and talked about the mid-term rentals as well. I think that's something we should consider. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions for staff or discussions amongst ourselves before I close the public hearing? Public hearing is now closed. Before I ask for a motion, I have a question for legal. I typically, as the chairman, don't make motions myself. Is that something that is allowed by the chairman, or if I want to change somebody else's motion, is that how I do it?
Yes, typically what I see is that normally someone else besides the chair would make the motion.
Okay. All right, the public hearing is closed. At this time, I'll ask for a motion for the UDC text amendment.
Chair, I'm going to give this a shot.
Yes.
I move to approve UDC 01269774 with the following amendment. To eliminate the on-site verbiage altogether and response time within 24 hours.
I have a motion.
I would like to see a response time in 60 minutes at least.
Well, we have a motion, so that's what we vote on. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Could I get a roll call, please, Chantel?
Commissioner Graham,
Aye.
Commissioner Cradoff,
Aye.
Commissioner Sanderson,
Aye.
Commissioner Richel,
Aye.
Commissioner Stokenberry,
Aye.
Commissioner Ingersoll,
Aye.
Commissioner Pumphrey,
No.
Vice Chairperson Howell,
Aye.
and Chairperson Henny.
Aye. All right, that passed, and that item will be recommended and heard by the City Council at their next meeting on Monday, March 16th, 6 o'clock in this very room. Moving on, agenda item number 5 and 7, I will open the public hearing for General Development Plan GDP 12259749 for McAtee Village, with the preliminary plat being heard concurrently. I will ask for exhibits from our city attorney. This is being continued. There probably is no exhibits at this time.
I do not have any
Fair to
exhibits
say,
here.
okay. The applicant has requested the continuance of these items to Monday, March 9th, 2026. How about a motion to continue this item?
Excuse me, Chair.
Yes,
I think that's gonna be continued to March 23rd.
yes, March 23rd, the date is wrong. I stand corrected. This will be continued or to be heard by on the March 23rd meeting.
I'll second that.
Yes, I have a motion.
Let you motion, I'll second.
Okay, motion and a second. Thanks for helping me through that.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
no? All right, that motion passes. At this time, I will open the public hearing for agenda item number 6, which is conditional use permit, CUPC 01269786 for Moni's Daycare. I'll ask for exhibits from our city attorney.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I have as exhibits, one exhibit that's the staff report and all of that's attachments.
All right, and looks like we got a staff presentation. Mr. Day.
Good evening, Commissioners. Before you this evening is a request for approval of a conditional use permit for a in-home daycare located at 9305 Southwest Orca Court. The proposed daycare will operate in a manner that does not alter the character of the scale of the existing single-family resident or the surrounding neighborhood. In-home daycares are identified as a conditional use within residential districts and are required to remain subordinate to the primary residential use of the property. With the proposed conditions listed in the staff report, the request is consistent with the intent of the zoning district and is compatible with the surrounding residential properties. In addition to maintaining and renewing a valid business license, the daycare must remain in compliance with all applicable city, county, and state requirements governing general daycare operations. I'm happy to answer any questions, and the applicant is here to answer any as well.
Thank you for that. Any questions for staff before we hear from the applicant? All right, is the applicant here and would like to speak on behalf of the project?
Yes. Hello, my name is Mava Marafi. This is my mom, Monir Gobrampour. She's the owner of Moni's Daycare.
Would you like to talk at all about your project?
Yeah, so my mom has been in the in-home daycare business for a long time now, about 15, 16 years. We've been Lee Summit residents for over 20 years. She did have an in-home daycare in another part of Lee Summit in Charleston Park area that was also approved. And we are trying to expand into a facility daycare within the next couple months. This is just temporary for us to be able to resume business until we can secure our outside facility and will no longer require the in-home daycare.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
That would be it.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions up here before we hear from the public? All right, thank you very much.
Of course.
Does that seem like news to you, the temporary?
Yes.
No comment.
Huh?
No comment.
All right. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak in favor of this project? Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak in opposition to this project? Name and address, please.
I think I did a lot of work for nothing. Hi,
Full
good
name
evening.
and address, please.
My name is Mike Amberson. I live at 9309 Southwest Orchid Court. I'm just east of where the proposed daycare is wanting to go. So let me give you a little background. We got lucky. We hit the jackpot. In 2021, after living in Independence my entire life, I'm 67 years old. My wife is in her 60s. We spent our entire life there. We hit the jackpot, moved to Blue Springs, moved into a little nicer upscale neighborhood. The perfect scenario was finding a cul-de-sac that backed up to nothing but woods. And we found that, and it's been absolutely wonderful. We have one of the smallest of all of the actual cul-de-sacs in the neighborhood. There's only 5 homes. That's it, 5. Clark and Robin live at the main entrance that ties into Orca off of Conk. And then there's 4 homes wrapped around the bottom of the circle. Out of those 5 homes, 3 of them have retirees. My wife and I are retired, Clark's retired. We have at least some police officer, detective, that's retired. So you kind of get the feel for what our little cul-de-sac kind of looks like. We love kids. We all have kids, we raise kids, we have grandkids, so on and so forth. But one of the things that we got was this ladder, and unfortunately this didn't go out to our entire neighborhood because it had a boundary limit on it of 185 feet. That's it. So nobody else outside of who's here One of the neighbors' son's having a birthday, so he's spending that with his family. So I didn't have a lot of time to really get prepared. And, you know, with something like this, it could either be in the favor of the neighborhood or maybe not as favorable for the neighborhood. So that's why I'm here. So what I did in the process of trying to find out, we didn't have a lot of time to put things together. I couldn't believe how efficient the Blue Springs government actually is. This thing right here, I thought, I'm gonna find out what there is to know about home industry. That's what I wanted to know. I wanted to learn about it. And when I got to gleaning through some of the pages here, one of the most important things here is on this page. It says things to consider. If you live in a neighborhood managed by a homeowners association, it is a good idea to check whether it can restrict your business activities. Well, I'm here to tell you that we have a very robust website. All the information that you need if you live in that neighborhood can be found on that website. ARC request forms. That's the first thing that needed to happen with this case, was that they needed to glean through, get an ARC request, send it in, let it go through the approval process.
Hold on just 1 minute. I didn't tell you this in the beginning, but we usually have 3-minute time limits.
Okay.
So your 3 minutes is up. But since I didn't tell you that, and we don't have a huge gallery tonight, I'm gonna let you go a couple more.
Okay.
But wrap it up.
All right, I will.
Respectfully. I say
Okay,
respectfully.
so I also, with everything that I handed you guys, this is straight out of our covenants and bylaws. And it kind of directly ties in with what this right here document says. So I want to make certain that you had all the information that you needed. A couple questions that I had for them, not knowing what I know now, is on their website, which is fabulous, they got a really nice website. I mean, it was not something that you would see on Facebook, somebody wanting to watch children. But it says they care for up to 10. Well, the license that they were applying for is a limited. But in the application, they were saying 6, which would make it a general instead of a limited condition where it's 4 or less children. So that was one thing. Playing outdoors. They have no fenced-in area there. And they back up to one of the 2 entrances, main entrances into our neighborhood, which is Timber Meadows. My concerns are, we have a swimming pool, we have a walking trail that goes all the way around. What happens if they take the kids out and somebody falls and gets hurt?
Yeah, put 1 minute, please.
Yeah.
On the clock.
So I'll just keep it just where we're at right here. Everything that I have in the document was gleaned out of just one provision that seemed to have a lot of different things in it. And I certainly hope that you guys, you know, based on what I just heard, if this is temporary, this could be a moot situation that we have right now, if that is in case the fact. Okay. Because right now, the neighbors that are here, we're not in favor of having a daycare in our cul-de-sac.
Thank you, sir. You have been heard.
Hey, thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak in opposition to this project? All right, seeing none and hearing none, I will close the public comment section of this public hearing. Anything else for staff up here?
Chairman.
Yes.
Over here. Sorry, Chris. Throw you off. I just wanted to put on record that the resident letter that was sent out, the applicant has been found to be in substantial compliance with our posting requirements, with the correct public notice and posting on their site. However, the resident letter that was sent out had the wrong dates, so we will be reissuing a new resident letter with the correct city council date before next week.
So this will not be heard.
So a correct resident letter will be sent out with the correct city council date. However, they were found in substantial compliance with our posting requirements for the conditional use, so they are able to move forward.
So the council will hear it in 2 weeks. April 6th.
Yeah.
And In regards to 185-foot notification rule, please clarify that. My understanding is that that's like a state rule, a state law?
Yes.
So it's not the city of Blue Springs that limits that, it's a state statute that municipalities follow. So if that's a concern, that can be taken up with the state, but the city of Blue Springs is following the state statute. Yes, down here.
Yeah, I have a question.
I was gonna ask, were there any other letters sent out, against this,
No.
Okay.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
We closed the public comment section.
So I have a couple questions. One is, I guess I haven't run into this before, but if there are restrictions in a homeowners association, how does that work on conditional use permits?
We don't carry out HOA bylaws, so that would be between the HOA and the applicant.
Okay. And for clarity on the limited versus general, can we?
Yeah, so limited daycare use for the City of Blue Springs standards is a 1 to 4 children. That does not require them to have a business license with the city as well as state licensing. Or we don't require them to present the state licensing to us. Whether the state requires them to get one, I'm not sure, but at least for the general, to obtain a business license, which is kind of where one of the conditions comes in, that they have to meet all state requirements, which is kind of where the fencing that the residents brought up would come into play, as they'd have to meet all the requirements for the state to obtain state licensure, and then they would be given a city business license.
And just to clarify, just to be specific, the application is for limited or is for general?
It's for general.
It's for
so
general.
What triggered this is because when they submitted the business license and we saw the number of children, that's when myself reached out to the applicant and we started this process.
Okay. I think that's my questions. Thank you.
Chair.
Yes.
So this temporary, 2 months, 60 days, can a conditional use permit be given for just a limited period of time?
That would be, yeah. Yes.
Can I add something?
I'll defer to you.
Mr. Chairman, it really is, if the commission would like to hear more
Okay.
testimony, you're welcome to,
We
but it's
will,
not
I will
in the
open
public
back up the
hearing.
public comment section, and
I have a
let me finish, please, sir. We will limit any comments to 2 minutes, and you must approach the podium and state your name and address, and you will be heard.
Robin Hofstadter. If it's a temporary and they are approved for that and it goes over, what happens?
City staff takes that into consideration, and they have to deal with, I'll let you answer that question.
That'd be
And how many temporaries can you get in a row?
So it would, after the temporary conditional use permit expires or lapses, then they would fall into code enforcement, and we would start the process for issuing citation and resolving the issue to cease operations.
Can you apply for another temporary right after that one expires?
There wouldn't be anything that would prohibit them from doing that. They would.
So it could be longer
have
than
to.
2 months. That's what I'm.
No, they would
trying
have to
get
go
at.
back through the same process that they're going through now, through a public hearing.
Okay. Thank you.
Chair, I got one more question. Or I guess we're on
Anybody
this
else from the
part.
public? We open it back up.
Hi, Mike Amberson. I
2
live
minutes,
at
Mike.
9309 Southwest Orchid Court. So a couple things that I wanted to, so the letter that we got that said that it was a limited conditional was incorrect.
correct.
Okay,
would
because
be
based
general.
on the amount of traffic in the mornings and at night, it's not meeting that criteria right now. And just to state for the record, they moved in December, late December, and about mid-January, this thing is opening and functioning every day, every single day. So are they in compliance if they've opened their daycare without the permit that's required to watch children? I guess that's my question to you guys.
The answer would be no. This would bring them into compliance.
Excuse me?
This would bring them into compliance.
But they could, sorry,
No.
I'm a planner, so
Yeah.
Helpful.
I'm just filling in. But they had 4 or less.
Yes.
So
So
they
if
didn't
they
need
operated-
a permit at that point
Yeah.
to run the business with that amount of kids. So with them now wanting to go to 6 or however, that's where this is going to bring them into that compliance.
Okay. Is there any oversight that happens at this level to make certain that they are complying with those things?
That would be with the state. This is their where they would be bringing into compliance. On top of that, it would be state that would be handling like the operations and health and safety of the children, and like operations and making sure they're meeting all the standards that the state has set forth for daycare.
Okay, so let me ask one more question. So with the amount of children that they are watching today, or that they may watch in the future, either in our neighborhood or outside of it, on her website, she says she makes them meals. Does that bring in the Jackson County Health Department and make certain that things
Sir,
are?
you can speak before or against it, but this is not a question and answer
Okay,
session.
all right. Then I'm done.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Anything else from staff?
Just to reiterate, as one of our conditions, is that they would have to meet all city, county, and state requirements set forth for a daycare.
Yes. And also, as a side note, it's not uncommon for somebody to be operating a business and not be in compliance because they simply didn't know. I'm not saying that's the case here. And then when they're brought to attention, as long as they come into a compliance, we see that all the time, and that's standard. It's not standard, it happens. It happens with frequency, and there's a certain amount of grace and acceptance that comes with the fact that a lot of the public sometimes just does not know. All right, anything else from staff? Any final words from the applicant?
Sorry.
Yes.
Mava from 9305. I just want to clarify that we are actively looking for a facility. We have an agent. We've actually looked at a couple places in the last couple weeks. We are looking to get out of the in-home daycare business and into a bigger facility because it just makes sense for us. She's been in the business for 20 years. This whole time, she's always been compliant with city, state. She's never operated under the table, none of that. I mean, me and my sister take that very seriously. It's other people's children you're watching. You have to be very compliant. That's why we're here. We did not know, and that's why, Logan's helping us, go through this process and be able to be compliant with whatever HOA needs, the city needs, the state needs, whatever we need to do. And just to answer your question about the 10 children, the website was built like 6 years ago. We just haven't updated some of the verbiage, and I'll be sure to update that so it says the right amount of children.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Anything else? All right. Anything else from anyone out there? I'm just gonna make a broad open.
I'm done.
All right. Sure? Okay. All right, I will close the public hearing. I will bring it back up here. Unless there's any further discussion amongst us commissioners, I would ask for a motion.
So, I have a question.
Yes.
Is one of the conditions limiting the amount of time that the conditional use permit can be in place?
That is not current.
That is not a current condition.
Okay. Is that something that we need to amend?
It's optional. You could if you want to, or it can pass as is.
Yeah, you could make a motion to.
Okay. So
Everybody's doing it.
can I attempt that?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
It's open for a motion from
Okay.
anyone up here.
Chair, I will
Yes.
make a motion to approve Moni's Daycare CUPC 01269786 at 9305 Southwest Orchestra Court with a time period of 90 days that the conditional use permit is issued.
We can discuss this amended, can we? Okay.
Yeah.
My thoughts on that is it needs to be 6 months to a year. I agree in the sense that since the applicant stated they're looking for a place, but there's so many variables that go into finding a new home and a commercial space. There's financing, there's availability, there's market conditions. I would make a motion to amend that to 1 year. And what happens now? We're just ready for a second?
We're ready for a second on your amendment.
On the amended motion.
Chair,
Yes.
I second the amendment.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Roll call, please, Chantel.
Commissioner Ingersoll,
No.
Commissioner Pumphrey,
No.
Commissioner Stokenberry,
Aye.
Commissioner Ritchell,
No.
Commissioner Sanderson,
Aye.
Commissioner Cradoff,
Aye.
Commissioner Graham,
Aye.
Vice Chairperson Howe,
Aye.
and Chairperson Henny.
Aye. All right, that motion passes, and it will be heard by the city council. They're meeting on Monday, March 23rd?
No, April 6th.
April 6th.
Chair, that's the motion, the vote was on the motion, and so now you need to make a vote on the adoption of the CUP
Okay,
Right,
as amended.
right.
okay.
So we
Now
have
I
to
would
do it one more
ask
time.
for a motion for the CUP portion of this project with the amendment of 12-month expiration on the CUP. Ready for a motion?
Chair,
Yes.
I make a motion to approve conditional use permit for Moni's Daycare, CUPC 01269786 at 9305 Southwest Orca Court with the amended condition for 1 year.
All right, roll call, please, Chantel.
I need a second.
Second, please.
Oh, yeah, second. I'm all flustered. I have a motion and a second.
Now we're ready.
How about a roll call, please?
Commissioner Graham,
Aye.
Commissioner Cradoff,
Aye.
Commissioner Sanderson,
Aye.
Commissioner Ritchell,
Aye.
Commissioner Stokenberry,
Aye.
Commissioner Pumphrey,
No.
Commissioner Ingersoll,
No.
Vice Chairperson Howe,
Aye.
and Chairperson Henny,
Aye.
and that passes.
All right, that passes. That passed and will be heard by the city council at their next meeting.
April 6th.
Yes.
Sorry, for clarification, it's not the next meeting, it's April 6th.
Yes,
April 6th
it's
is the
April
next meeting.
6th. Yes.
That's when it will be heard.
Yes.
All right, moving on. Any other business up here? We've completed our agenda. Does anybody have anything else, staff up here? All right, I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. This meeting is now adjourned.
Turn off our fans so we don't waste electricity.
Yeah, that was good stuff.